Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Wednesday, February 19th, 2020. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. One thing you'll see here is a very narrow 6-day range that is developing. I say developing because today's not over. Today, the day is still building, and you can definitely see that it's already a narrow day here. Only inside day so far, very narrow range. Today it's trading just 30% of average range on a day-to-day basis, but you can see down here on a 6-day basis, those 6 days right there, very compressed. Over here, 39% of average range. It normally averages over 100 points on a 6-day range basis. If we do see expansion at some point here, we could be looking at about 135 points of movement at some point down the road, or something over 100. So right now, again, as I've mentioned before, we may be at this stage of the trend where we have this range that's developed at highs. We could pull back to the cycle low and then bounce back off again. So that's where we're at right now. Are we going to return back down here and maybe bounce back up, or return even a little bit? It doesn't have to be all the way down, maybe 3,300, and then that could rally to 3,400 easily. As 100 plus points could be the range here. So we'll continue to watch this to see how it develops, but it's a very narrow range that could lead to a great breakout in one way or another. But the uptrending market right here suggests that even if it were to break down, it could still be bought for a continuation. Alright, let's take a look here at the NQ. Again, very narrow 6-day range that is developed here. 43% of average range. Again, if we do get a breakout, we may see something along the lines of 500 points. We have a narrow range that's developed here, and the trend remains to the upside. Again, if this pulls back into the Pima trigger zone, that could provide a great buying opportunity for a continuation higher. As a matter of fact, this thing could drop as deep as this 9,300 zone right here, that LVN previous highs, and still be a buying opportunity for a continuation higher. Alright, let's take a look now at crude oil. You'll see here with crude oil, we're starting to see that bounce that we've talked about for quite some time. Ever since we were back in this day here, we mentioned that, actually even before that, that these bears were defending here, and if they don't get paid, the upside buy stops start to come out, especially above 52, 52.5. We got through that a couple of days ago. Yesterday was a pullback day with a failed new low. You see a nice buy signal there. Anything into a midpoint retest could be a nice buy for a continuation over the next day or two. Right now we're already seeing a continuation to the upside, and we are at 53 for the first time since the beginning of the month. So the first trading day of the month here, or really it was this first trading day of the month, it was the last trading day of the last month, we sold off away from 53s, and this is the first time we're coming back to it. This is also the FOMC key level at 53.15. This is going to be a very important zone. Again, the idea here is that we have rejected this 50.6 level right here. That's the key range low. We have rejected 51.20, which is an important level, and we are now squeezing back above the previous month's close after forming a little bit of a box below it. All of that suggests to move back to this 57.28 key level there. And again, as long as price can continue to hold above 50.60 or 51 even, that would suggest a continuation toward 57s. Alright, let's take a look lastly at GC. You'll see here with GC we have hit new highs. We're currently trading 1610.9, and you can see an uptrending market. We've talked about before that this market remains bullish overall, but we had become range bound for a while. Yesterday changed that when it pushed through 1600 and continued to hold above it into the end of the day. Again, we have this recent high back here, which we have now taken out barely. That new high right now, 1614.4, is a new high here. And again, that's the first test we've seen above 1600, the first couple of tests here in the last few years. It wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility to see a pullback back toward the bottom of this range and you stay in the range here. Again, not a whole lot has traded above 1600. If it can't continue to hold above 1600 over the next day or two, we may see a rotation back inside the range. Holding above 1600 would suggest expanding the range upwards. So again, continue to watch 1600 here heading into the rest of the day. Alright, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.